Hello to all my lovely mommies out there, whenever and wherever you're listening today. I'm Katie, your host of Miles of Mommy, your go-to podcast for everything mommy related, coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky on this chilly fall afternoon. We have a very interesting show for you all today, focusing on what's on every mom's mind. But first, I want to start off how we have been the last few weeks, with a moment of silence for all the babies out there suffering from the disease raging across the country. Okay, so I want to begin by recapping our show from last week. We had Dr. Dice, a well-known pediatrician that focuses on infant diseases, come in and explain a little bit about this new disease, now simply being called the baby plague. Scientists are still trying to figure out the intricacies of the disease, but they know more now in October than when it began earlier this summer. They have traced the start of the disease back to a bacterium in the new gluten-free pasta. Of course, with all the natural moms out there, this new pasta was flying off the shelves. Little did we know that there was something wrong. They still haven't figured out the specific bacteria, but they know that whatever it is can be spread from mom to baby through breastfeeding. That means that anyone who ate this pasta then breastfed their baby was at risk for passing on the disease to their little one. This may sound like how HIV can be spread through breastfeeding, but in fact it is actually much worse because the chances of actually passing HIV through breastfeeding are pretty low. However, with this new disease, it seems like almost any mom who had eaten the pasta seems to be infecting their baby. Scientists are at work trying to pinpoint the bacteria. If they know what bacteria is causing the baby plague, like they know how a bacteria called Y. pestis causes the Black Plague, according to Science and Letters, then they can hopefully come up with an effective antibiotic or treatment plan.
Whatever the bacteria are, it doesn't affect us because of our advanced immune systems. That's why, according to Dr. Dice, none of the moms are becoming infected with the disease. However, because any breastfeeding baby has little to no immune system, the bacteria can easily infect them. Once inside, scientists believe that the bacteria seem to be mutating in some way, changing from just being passed through breast milk to being spread through airborne transmission. This is the really scary part because it means that any infected baby can pass this disease through the air to another baby. This is just like the flu transmission that can be spread from person to person through the air. The doctors realized about a month ago that the pasta was the start of the infection, but a lot of the damage had already been done. Any of the moms who had been eating the pasta before it was taken off the market have most likely already spread the bacteria to their babies. The CDC is advising any mom who knows that they have eaten the pasta to keep their baby inside as much as possible to limit the spread of the infection through the air. Anyone in the house, unless you have multiple infants, should be protected against the disease because they have a strong enough of an immune system to fight the bacteria. Now we're going to take a short break, and after we come back, we're going to have a chat with our special guest, Bella Flora, a local mom who has unfortunately felt the burden of this horrible disease.
So, who liked Gerber's sweet potatoes and corn? Show of hands. Excellent.
Meet Gerber's panel of 2,000 taste testers. Gerber baby food. Growing up, Gerber.
Welcome back, mamas. Now on our show, we're going to talk with a local mom, Bella. Hi, Bella. How are you doing today?
Oh, all things considered, I'm okay. This week has been better than most. It's definitely been hard being in and out of the hospital and just dealing with everything.
I can't imagine. I want you to know that all of us here at Miles of Mommy are rooting for you and anyone else in your shoes. Can you share some of your story about the baby plague?
It all started, I guess, with the infamous pasta. I have celiac disease, so when I tried the pasta and thought it was delicious, I bought tons. It was almost a month before I knew anything was wrong. This was back in August, so before anything about the pasta was coming out in the news.
Right, none of us knew there was anything wrong with this new pasta hitting the shelves. Can you describe what some of the first symptoms were and when you knew something was wrong?
I would say around the middle of August, my baby started crying and acting fussy for a few days in a row. But I didn't think anything of it. In fact, I probably breastfed more those days than normal because that's what moms do, right? They feed their fussy babies. After about 3 to 4 days of the fussiness, I noticed that the first red circle about a quarter size on her back. By the next day, there were circles all over, and I rushed her to the doctor. Back then, there wasn't as much in the media about the disease or symptoms, so I was shocked when our doctor immediately admitted us to the hospital. The next day, the rush of symptoms set in. Her blood pressure and heart rate skyrocketed. She started to have a lot of trouble breathing, and they were worried about organ failure soon setting in. Honestly, the next couple of weeks were some of the worst my husband and I have had to go through, watching our little girl fight for her life.
That must have been so scary for you. What has happened since then?
Well, they started her on all sorts of antibiotics, and they had me stop breastfeeding. They also gave her a lot of blood transfusions, hoping to get the bacteria out of her system. I thank God every day that I'm one of the lucky ones, because for about a week now, she isn't showing symptoms, and the doctors are hopeful about her recovery.
Well, can I just say how happy I am for you? I feel like that's been the norm of this baby plague. Some babies recover, and some families have to go through the unspeakable horror of burying their babies.
I know, and it seems like there's no reason as to why some recover. That's why I wanted to come on your show to share my story and spread the message of prevention. Still, doctors aren't sure how to treat this. They aren't sure what's working to help these babies. The one thing that can work is prevention. Obviously, no moms are eating that pasta anymore. However, if you ever ate it or know anyone who has eaten it, and you've been around that baby, try to keep your own baby inside. If your baby may be infected, please do not take your baby around others. If you can at all stop the spread of disease, do everything you can.
Thank you, Bella. You are absolutely right. The baby plague has taken enough from our families around the United States. It's taken enough precious lives, so we must do anything possible to stop it. Before I leave you all today, I want you to remember the signs and symptoms. If your baby shows any weird fussiness or, of course, gets a red circle on their skin, go and get them checked out as soon as possible. For right now, until the doctors find the specific source of the disease and can pinpoint a treatment, prevention is our best bet. Keep your baby inside if at all possible to protect themselves and other babies. As always, hug your little ones tight, maybe even a little tighter tonight. Keep being the super mamas you are, and I look forward to the day when we can begin Miles of Mommy without a moment of silence. Here's to next week, mamas.